I'm sorry.
When will I know I'm ready?
You won't. It's a leap of faith. That's all it is, Miles. A leap of faith.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was filled with creativity, astounding the world with the best possible origin story Miles Morales could get. Each aspect served its role perfectly, whether it was a comic book-inspired 3D animation, blended soundtrack, or the setting. In fact, setting might be one of the most important ones. Because as you watch through the movie and look for it, you might notice a pattern in the elevation of the different settings through the film. Like Miles' apartment and home, original Spider-Man's lair, or the underground collider and subway. These all take place at different heights. In the first act, with scenes like the graffiti art and when he first meets Spider-Man, the film associates the underground with danger and the great expectations placed on Miles' shoulder. Later on, it shows him learning to, literally and figuratively, leap downwards towards it. Into the Spider-Verse's usage of elevation between its setting attaches emotional weight to where each scene takes place. This theming of verticality helps visualize how Miles Morales goes from a scared boy to a superhero that doesn't run from his responsibilities. Using elevation to convey themes in film is nothing new in filmmaking. The Oscar-winning film Parasite has the characters moving up and down to show the difference in class. Up high, filled with sunlight, is the upper-class Park family in a mansion. The main family themselves live halfway underground, and the even poorer couple they meet live in the basement. Because of how Bong Joon-ho, the director, set up the settings and what they mean, each shot of the characters moving up and then back down means more to the plot than just physical movement on screen. This scene shows them literally retreating back into semi-poverty, rather than just characters moving from one setting to the next. This effect and theming is mixed a lot more subtly in Spider-Verse. Although there are some shots of stairs, they aren't as plentiful. One of the different ways they developed it, though, was the art that Miles sprays underground with his uncle, Aaron. Great Expectations is a very common theme. They first appear as a book and an assignment that Miles has to do, and then his art, and then the less physical pressures that he feels from his father to be the best student he can be at the Visions Academy.
I'm assigning you a personal essay, not about physics, but about you, and what kind of person you want to be.
Now you on your own, Miles. Oh, slow down a little.
This scene takes place in the hidden subway area that Aaron shows Miles, and we later see that it is connected and on the same elevation as Kingpin's collider. Thus, Miles' art is literally labeling this elevation, and therefore the settings within them, with the great expectations that weigh on it.
Real Miles, coming out of hiding.
This association is further strengthened when Miles runs back into this area. First, when he comes back to find the spider, and then when he's running away from the Prowler.
What was that? Kill that guy.
The camera runs past the Great Expectations arc again, representing yet more being added to Miles' responsibilities, as if being a student wasn't enough. Note here that he retreats back up through the city, back towards comfort and running from danger.
Police, put your hands up. Miles? Miles?
A very similar thing happens later on.
No matter how many times you get hit, can you get back up?
When you think you can't, keep going.
Come on, Miles. Come on, Miles. You can do this.
Guys, cool it.
Get up, Miles. You can do it.
Get up, Miles.
Come on, Miles. Get up.
When the Spider Gang pressures Morales, he, understandably, feels petrified. He is nowhere near the skill level of the other Spider people. So this scene, although it introduces where Miles gets a fancy suit and other such minor plot points, mainly exists to show him running from his responsibilities yet again. Notice here that the elevator out of the lair goes up.
turn invisible.
For the first 2/3 of this movie, we are watching the expectations on Miles' shoulders building on each other. He clearly isn't ready for any of it, so he keeps running and running. The real conflict of this film isn't necessarily the Kingpin or the Prowler, but merely Miles Morales trying to gain the confidence he needs to become Spider-Man, and the fact that he doesn't even believe that he can do that. However, all of this, everything holding Miles back, all changes in a leap of faith. The infamous leap of faith scene is only so powerful because of proper setup. This sequence where Miles is trying out his powers shows that he isn't brave enough to try the higher elevation, nor experienced to do it at all. With this scene, we anticipate that there will be more significance when he can make that leap. After he says that he and the other Spider People are leaving him, Peter B. Parker urges Miles to use either of his special abilities, the electrocution or turning invisible, to
Miles,
escape
you're gonna
him.
get yourself killed.
But I'm ready. I promise.
Then Venom strike me right now. Or turn invisible on command so you can get past me.
Although this fall onto the ground is on a much smaller scale than anything else in the film, this is yet another moment where Miles needs to fall to prove himself, and he just can't. This film continues to build scene after scene to show us how he needs to better himself, and each always has to do with this vertical movement. And then we get this beautiful scene between Miles and his dad. And this interaction is filled with so many heartfelt things that Miles probably just needed to hear. His dad would be proud of him no matter what he did, or that he could actually be great at whatever he chooses to do.
Still ignoring me. Look, can we talk for a minute? Something happened. Look, sometimes people drift apart, Miles. And I don't want that to happen to us, okay? Look, I know I don't always do what you need me to do or say what you need me to say, but I see this spark in you. It's amazing. It's why I push you, but it's yours. Whatever you choose to do with it, you'll be great.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse's first 2 acts work hard to show just how scared and unready Miles is for the mantle. It uses the theme of elevation and setting to add more meaning to each shot, associating the responsibilities and the expectations weighing on Miles' shoulders with lower elevations, while also showing that he runs up to avoid danger and back to comfort. This usage of verticality and setting means every shot of Miles rising and falling isn't just representing physical movement, but also his growth into Spider-Man's true successor. This scene is him taking in everything that his dad, his mom, uncle, and Peter B. Parker have said to him, that he's good enough to stop running, that he's on the right path, and to take a leap of faith.
Like, what's up, danger? Like, what's up, danger?
Made them myself. They fit perfectly.